Hello there, everyone. Zantok here with Super Cast Brothers. I almost said Select Star Gaming. I slipped into that intro for a quick second there, but no! This is not the place where I record video games. This is the place where we talk about video games. When I say video games, I really mean primarily one. Technically we speak about it a lot here, but it's Smash Brothers time. It's a Smashtopia episode. Jonno is here. He's taking a drink of something. I don't know what he's doing. Something funky, as always. But today we are here to not only make a character moveset as we always do, but we're also doing our showcases, showing off some things that we've made on the wiki at some point in the past. For mine, they're a little bit older. For Jonno, they're a little bit more recent because he's been doing his one moveset a day challenge on the Smashtopia wiki, which I actually I started taking that cue from you. But instead of doing one a day, I'm doing 2 a week with one new thing and then one thing that exists in Smash. I'm doing that every week. Just because like I decided, okay, he's doing this. I'm getting the bug again. And I like the format of doing just one a week because that makes it very easy to keep up with. Systems I've tried before were a lot more intensive, and I would start out doing them, and then I'll get burned out. But so far, I got caught up at the end of February, and I've been keeping up as we're currently at the pace that we're currently at time of recording.
Yeah,
been going pretty well.
Very good. We're both kind of committing to these little challenges for ourselves this year. Yours, I mean, I could see it being a kind of a cool long-term thing, like recurring. Maybe like you do it throughout the year, and then maybe take a little breather, and then if you want to do it again, won't be as big of a deal as your old ways of approaching it.
It's like I used to do it because put it like I thought in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make a whole bunch, and then once I have this amount, I'm gonna upload them onto the wiki in bulk because in my mind that's what's gonna save time. But then it just amounted to me getting burned out because I was having to make them all before I could put them up. But now I'm just like, all right, I made it, and I just wait for the next week to start, and I'll just upload it then. Because I work a little bit ahead, but not too much. But I'm just like, okay, once Sunday hits, I can upload the next 2. Done deal. And like I'm just doing it for myself, where like I'm doing like, okay, I can only do one per like. I'm not going to represent one series more than once for my new stuff per month, and I'm not going to do like more than one type of moveset per month. Like I'm going to do one character a month, unless I have a crazy inspiration. I decided to do a bonus thing. Like for January, I made fuck. Oh, Paula. I did Paula from Earthbound. And for February, I did Hisuian Decidueye from Pokemon Legends Arceus. March is not uploaded yet, but that's going to be one that I'm currently working on as well. But you've done a lot more characters. You don't have a restriction on you. You've done times where you don't when you've done 5 things from one series in a row, or like 5 items in a row. It's like fucking okay.
Yeah. It's just kind of whatever we're feeling the day that I decide to upload something, because there's 365 things that are going to need to be uploaded at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Especially considering that Smashtopia episodes on this podcast will not count.
And that was a lot of Pokeballs.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, and it's always good to circle back and feel a slight little tinge of regret in your life.
But I've been hitting you with some requests of my own too, just being like, here's something that I think you could have fun to do. Like you made for stage for a Big Boost Haunt from Mario 64, and I'm also giving you some like these in honor of challenges from people that we used to know back in the old Mercurios days, or even people that we still know. And I'm going like, here's 5 characters that I made before. Pick one of these 5 and make them new. And you did that recently with Revolver Ocelot to in honor of Kamek Guy, good old friend Kamek Guy.
Kamek Guy was a huge influence, I think, on both of us when we first started doing this whole Smash Brothers talk speculation thing as teenagers. And he, I don't know, I think he's like my age, and he was just ahead of the ball. He did a lot of super detailed movesets that rival Ultimate level movesets back in 2006, 2007.
In fact, one of his most famous, at least for us, was Cranky Kong.
Yeah, I remember that fondly. And approaching the moveset that we're doing today for Cranky Kong in this podcast, I kind of wanted to veer from what he did because it would have been
So did
so
I.
easy to
So did
just
I.
yeah, yeah. So, but there's a lot to take from. Cranky Kong's been in a lot of games, including the original Donkey Kong arcade game because he was that Donkey Kong. So
Yep.
we'll see how that goes. I mean, he's gotten more history behind him than Acerta, and that's really saying something.
That's absolutely true. He does. He may not have a
And
girlfriend that
Acerta,
he
yeah,
owes money to,
yeah,
but he's got a long history.
yeah. Probably one of the
His
strangest
wife's
things
dead,
I've done
though.
was yeah, yeah.
Rest in peace,
That's
Cranky
true. I
Kong.
mean, she still comes around every so often though.
Somehow.
Somehow. And he's just chilling. He's like 140 years old.
Hey, he's got that good potassium going.
Brinkley Kong just didn't need enough bananas, huh?
She did
He wanted
not.
to just go for the
She
apple
had a
pie
banana
instead.
allergy. I don't know.
How horrible. Live your life as a simian creature and be allergic. She probably helped King K. Rool.
Oh my
Found the
god.
hidden lore.
That's how she died.
She's like, get this shit out of my face, crocodile.
The smell, it bothers me.
Why did they even steal fucking bananas?
I don't, it's not, I don't think it's because they wanted the bananas. I think it's just because they're just like, man, fuck those Kongs. Let's take their bananas. Okay.
Yes, there's the plot.
Why did the Tikis come for the bananas? Why did the fucking Vikings or whatever they were called, Snowmads or something? Why did they go for bananas? What's wrong with you people? Thankfully, we don't have to answer that question here today. That's a question for Miyamoto. Just be like, if you just get a chance to interview Miyamoto, just be like, so why did the Kremlings steal Donkey Kong's bananas? Just like, what answers he could have come up with? Like, he's gonna say something, and then it's gonna be taken as lore fact. It's like, well, you see,
I wouldn't even,
bananas are the only food that Kremlings eat too. It's like, what? Okay, that's the new lore. Sure, whatever.
That would be the best thing Miyamoto's come up with in like a decade.
Pikmin 3?
Oh yeah.
Wait, was that in the last decade?
I don't know. I
don't know. When did Pikmin 3 release? It's been a long time. It was on the Wii U, so it was probably in this decade.
2013, so that was really close. Pikmin 4 is not going to release until like the next decade from now, so we're
yep.
Anywho,
we got some showcases to do. They're gonna be no characters today, just some smaller stuff. But the first one I want to show off today for me, I decided to show this one off because a remake for this game was recently announced in the Nintendo Direct, and I was very excited. That game is Live a Live, or as they were calling it, Live Alive, which didn't make any sense to me. But one of the characters that you play as in this game is called Cube, who is a spherical robot. Now, why it's a spherical robot named Cube, I don't... Look, man, I didn't make the game, okay? But Live Alive, originally was only a Japanese release game. I had to play a translated patch of it, so I kind of wonder, when we get to the official release, what things will change, like with character names and whatnot. But this Cube here I have, I made him into a spirit battle. He's represented by a Kirby who's under the effect of a metal box, and you play against him on Shadow Moses Island. One of the big things that happens in Cube's chapter of the game is you're trying to... Imagine the movie Alien, and you're Ripley, and you're being chased by the alien, except you don't have a way to fight back. Cube has no weaponry. So you're just trying to run away from the enemy. So for this fight, this Kirby is metal, and it has a speed boost on it by not wearing a buddy hood, so it's always moving at 1.5 times speed, which is weird when he's metal. He will only attack if he has to, but he prefers to spend time trying to run away from the player, making the fight rather difficult. And then you have to KO Kirby in 2 minutes, or you lose. So it really just so it's basically making you be that giant monster that's trying to destroy the ship, kill everybody, and kill off Cube as well.
Mm-hmm. That's
So yeah,
interesting.
fun little
I
spin.
like it. From I did not know that about Cube's chapter either. That's a really interesting way to
Yeah,
approach an
and
RPG.
each chapter
So,
is in a different time period with a different, completely different goal and different different genres. Really, like you have stealth segments when you're playing as a ninja. You trying to do some traps when you're playing as a cowboy. There's like a fighting game like chapter.
nice.
It's a really good game. I enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the remake.
Me
It's using
too.
like
Me
the
too.
whole like the Project Triangle and the Octopath style graphics, which is works really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited for the the Live Alive remake as well as the Dragon Quest III remake using that engine. I think
Mm,
whereas Octopath and Triangle can be a little more have a little bit more room for scrutiny, these games already are preordained to be good.
yeah,
So
like I
pair
wouldn't
that with the
mind
graphical style.
like I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't mind like a more 3D remake like what Final Fantasy VII remake got for some things like Final Fantasy 4 or 5. But like at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, this style that they're working on now with the whole Octopath art style is like supreme for remaking pixel games. It's
Mm-hmm.
so good.
Yeah, it is. It is. I wonder what Final Fantasy game they're ultimately do that way. I know
I
they have
kind
the
of feel like it
pixel
could be
version.
5. I could see 5 doing
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah, they did just the Pixel remasters on Steam, but I don't really. I'm not impressed by the Pixel remasters, to be perfectly honest. I might
Mm-hmm.
also be bitter because they took down the original versions that they had on Steam for the Pixel remasters, which in some cases, like, I'd rather play the Game Boy Advance version of 5 than the Pixel remaster version of 5. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just
Mm-hmm.
me.
Right. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
And I'm taking it that Cube is the Futures
Yeah, he's the
character.
future arc.
Okay. Interesting. All right, cool.
So what do you
Oh
got?
yeah, I'm next, I guess. Uh so we're gonna get right back into it. It feels like it's been a longer period of time than it has been since I posted this, since I think this was a January submission for me. And there's been like almost 90 submissions for me so far this year. Um Revolver Ocelot was also the 1,000th submission on the Smashtopia wiki, by the
It
way. I'm
was
very
well,
proud of that.
not the
It's
1000th submission, but the 1000th page. Because we
1,000th
do because there's also
page.
some
Right.
pages which are like list of all characters, list of all stages, and like here's
Hmm.
the stage submission format. But
Right.
at this point, I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
we have hit 1000 submissions because we're at 1019 right now. But
Hmm.
he will technically was 1000 submissions, just the 1000th page.
Wonder who the 1,000th submission from. Probably something arbitrary. Uh,
There's no way I'd be able to
we'll
tell because
see.
I don't know how many non-submission pages we have.
Me either. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could
Okay. But we're
count.
not talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, God. Oh God. We're not unlocked a new thing for you to do.
No, maybe
Okay, good.
no.
Uh, we're not talking about Ocelot today, though. It's cool though. Go check it out. Froggy Chair. You know it and love it from memes across the galaxy. You've
I
seen
do
a
not.
number of folks sit down in it, from Waluigi to a stack of Goombas to Shia LaBeouf and my fictional OC Antonio Fontanucci, the owner of Fontanucci's Pizzeria, have all sat down in the Froggy Chair. Uh, from Animal Crossing, a beloved item that's been around since the very first game, and now it's an item on the Smashtopia wiki as well. Uh, it functions similarly to Karibo's shoe from Mario Brothers 3, where you're jumping onto the froggy chair, you're sitting down, just having a good time, but you can charge it and then jump into the air because that's what a frog does. Then you're coming down and meteor smashing opponents with the come down from the froggy chair. So it's pretty simple. It's useful. But beyond that, when you get out of it, it has a chance to dance around and have a good time, like in the music. You go check out the wiki page, and you can check the YouTube video link to see how it dances. It's a good time.
Okay,
Dancing froggy
that's
chair.
sometimes you have the weirdest shit, and
Yeah.
sometimes you're just like, bitch, please. I've seen what you've submitted. It's like, yeah, yeah, that's me trying to get revenge.
Yeah.
I can't remember what was the recent one that I did that with. I was just like, oh yeah, by the way, I made this, and you're just like, fucking what? You what? It's like, you goddamn right I did. What was it? I know it was. Oh, I think the most recent was Hell Bovine, a spirit from the Diablo games. Oh no,
That
and
just came out of nowhere.
The Falcon MK2 item from
Mm-hmm.
F-Zero. That one
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
went, what the fuck did you do? It's like, don't test me, bitch. Or I made Burrito Bison as a character.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one. But not talking about
Mm-hmm.
them in detail right now. Instead, we're moving on to an item that I made a while back. This is an old one for me. I made this one in 2018. This
Mm-hmm.
is
Wow.
the sprinkler from Splatoon. So the sprinkler is pretty simple. You pick it up, you throw it, and it'll stick to any surface, be it a ceiling, floor, wall, what have you. It can even stick to some items like a crate. And
Mm-hmm.
once it has attached to something, it's going to start firing ink from around itself, just like it does in Splatoon, covering a small AoE area around it. The ink is fired out shot by shot and somewhat rapidly, and it shares the same properties as the Inkling's ink if it hits an opponent. So if you get covered in the ink from the sprinkler, you're now going to be taking more damage from attacks that hit you, just like what the Inkling's ink
Mm-hmm.
can do. Pretty simple, just a way that you can essentially put like a passive debuff onto an opponent that they can't normally get. Like, it's just gonna have to wear off over time without just being a straight up regular. Oh, they went in this area, so their defense is lower. It's just a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Probably the most interesting thing too to me is that you can just place it just about anywhere.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I
fun.
mean that's how it
Um,
works.
yeah, so it is. So that's pretty cool. I like it. It's simple. It's simple and effective. There you go.
All right,
And it's Splatoon. Who doesn't love Splatoon?
way out trail.
Never having him on this show again.
Nope, you're banned. But
Uh,
he prefers the shooters that like where you're actually shooting to kill people. And I'm just like, did you play single player mode? He's like, no. Well, there's your fucking problem. If you want to play if you want to play Splatoon to kill people, either play the solo mode or use the charger.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you can kill with anything, but the snipers they're sniping for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah. Just a little too little grit and edge for way off trail. Then what a guy.
you could say.
Says the guy who drew the clown in front of McDonald's.
He has a channel point redeem on his Twitch channel where for 10,000 channel points you can give him a prompt, and I told him, draw the clown at McDonald's.
Okay. That works. And so he did.
Yep.
Okay. I guess it's about time to wrap up this segment. So one more sweet way to go. Although I don't know how very sweet they are because they're one of the main antagonists of Okami, so they're bad, evil, demon. Orochi.
Waka? Oh.
Susano.
Isun?
Orochi.
Big breasted
Yeah,
lady?
Yes, all of them. Yes.
Isun's favorite character.
Yeah. Yeah. Flame zones too.
Uh, my family.
Yeah. So Orochi's
fine.
an 8. Same. Until they do, and then there's an issue.
And then there's panic.
Orochi, 8-headed serpent dragon creature with a big old shrine coming out of his back for some reason. Orochi's 8 heads represent 8 different elements. Those being fire, earth, poison, light, lightning, water, wind, and darkness. So in Okami, Amaterasu has to incapacitate all of these heads and then strike the bell multiple times to defeat Orochi. In this game, or rather in the Smashtopia wiki, Orochi's 8 heads are 8 Ridleys, all colored different colors to represent the different elements. So they're encapsulated in this mist that kind of pulses with their respective color. And then you have to you basically get Orochi drunk with sake that's been blessed. to make the heads incapacitated. And representative of that here, you're going to have to douse Ridley with water barrels.
A little bit different,
To
but okay.
Yep. I didn't know any other way we're going to get around that.
To be fair, I don't know
To
either.
break the auras, and then that breaks the armor. Then you go and attack the Ridleys, defeat Ridleys within the time limit, which shifts depending on the difficulty. Let's say that it's like 10 minutes on the easiest, and then maybe 5 on the hardest.
Spirit battles don't have difficulty ratings.
No. Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, the spirit battles.
I just didn't list it.
They have static difficulties, like novice, something,
right,
ace, and
right.
legendary.
Okay, I know where we're getting at here. This is definitely a legendary, and time limit is slim, so better throw those water barrels. That's kind of that. I think that was one of yours that you. Yeah, it was that you requested.
Yeah, Orochi was a request I had for you. Funnily enough, I forgot Orochi was a spirit. I thought this was a boss battle.
It could be. It's just that bosses are kind of one of those things. Bosses, characters, and stages for me.
Orochi would work as an Okami boss for Smash easily.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Orochi. I don't
know. I don't think all 8 heads would be up at once. I think they could just kind of pop in and out, and probably I don't know if they share an HP bar or what. There's definitely a way that could be done.
Yeah, I think the way that Smash works with bosses so far would probably be maybe 2 or 3 heads on the stage at a time, swapping out, and then probably share an HP bar. But it would be interesting though. Maybe one of these days.
Kind of similar to how Master Core has its phases.
Yes, although fuck Master Core.
Yes, but not literally.
That would be an interesting ride.
Nope.
Has a lot of walls and that labyrinth.
Anywho, so we made it through our showcase today very quick, because we had no characters or stage. It's just 2 items, 2 spirits. Sometimes that's what it's going to be. So let's go ahead and get into what today's Smashtopia character is going to be. We decided to make, as we've mentioned, Cranky Kong from the Donkey Kong Country series. There's a few different Kongs that we could have gone with here. There's Dixie Kong, but Dixie Kong is already on the wiki. There's Funky Kong, who we considered for the spot, but we decided to go with Cranky Kong. Chunky, lanky, wrinkly, tiny, kitty. Then the weird ones like Ninja and Sumo. But Cranky Kong felt like it would be fun for us. He's an old school character. He's technically tied with Mario for being the oldest character, really. Depends on if you want to consider it Cranky Kong, Donkey Kong. It's kind of whatever. Fact is, Monkey's been around a long time, and we just wanted to have some fun with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I am looking forward to this one a lot. As he said, Cranky's more of a legacy character than a lot of people realize, given the hidden lore of his origins.
Yeah.
So
he is the Donkey Kong that we met in the original Donkey Kong game, which the 75M stage is from. And then we don't know who his son is. Or is DK Jr. supposed to be his son? I thought DK Jr. was his grandson and Donkey Kong was his great-grandson. Or is DK Jr. his son? I don't remember. I think I'm thinking DK Jr. is his son, who hasn't been seen in a long time either. He was in a couple NES games. He was in Super Mario Kart. An 8-bit version of him was added as a racer in Mario Kart Tour, but beyond that, Junior's been gone. And then we have
they kicked him out.
Yeah. And then the Donkey Kong that we've known ever since Donkey Kong Country is the grandson, who's some. It's really not a big deal if he's referred to as the one from the original game, but he's not. Let's be real.
Yeah, and Cranky Kong himself. I mean, he's toured around. He was in more games, researching this moveset than I kind of realized. The Donkey Kong Country games, Donkey Kong 64, where he was a potion master,
and an inventor as well. He had a whole
laboratory. Inventor. Which it's kind of where Kamek Guy went with his moveset.
Yeah, because he had a move. He had a move where like he could throw potions that he created, and they had different RNG effects.
Right. Yeah. And back in the day, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And then most of the spin-offs, I was thrilled when he came back in Tropical Freeze, of course.
Yeah.
With the Scrooge McDuck mechanic. And just kind of went from there. And who doesn't love a curmudgeon? You know?
I'm a big fan.
Oh.
They call me Scrooge when it comes to Christmas time.
There you go.
Because I don't care about your Christmas songs that you play in October.
I have a feeling Cranky Kong doesn't either. But he does like the Donkey Kong Country theme song. He has it on his record table.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't he?
Recalls the good old days of kidnapping Pauline.
Excuse you, a lady?
Oh, yeah. What a time.
See, the ages with those characters really confuses me. Because Jumpman is Mario, Lady is Pauline, Donkey Kong is Cranky Kong. But now Donkey Kong Country comes around, and we have a new Donkey Kong. And then Mario and Pauline. What's the age thing going on here? I'm so confused.
I think Mario is said to be canonically like roughly somewhere in his 40s.
Something like that.
So assume Pauline is the same age, maybe a little younger.
She looks good for her age in fucking Odyssey.
Yeah. So does Cranky Kong.
So does Mario as well, I guess. Really.
Yeah. Imagine him without a mustache. God. Like a baby. Worse than Baby Mario. Anyways.
So, Cranky Kong, let's get into it. As we always do, we enter in with our entrance animation. For me, I have written down that Cranky Kong is first going to appear in his classic 8-bit Donkey Kong sprite that he had back in the old days. And then he's just going to like kind of transmogrify into his more 3D appearance.
Oh.
Kind of Animorph style, you know?
Okay. That works because all I had was his Tropical Freeze entrance. So he comes in on that barrel labeled CK and he pops out of it.
Which is fair because that's what Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong do, and my Dixie Kong submission does that as well. Well, just like, I could do that for Cranky Kong, but I feel like this is better. Sometimes you go for the convention that other characters are establishing, but if you got something more unique to them to do, why not?
Yeah, I agree. Just go with the panache. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. Like Orbulon's mummy shooter that I had in that one episode, which didn't land very well, or the courtesans. But in this case, this is very courtesan-esque for Cranky, and I like it. It's very, very saucy. Let's go for it.
All right. Well, for the Kirby hat, I imagine, as well, it's going to be pretty simple here. He just gets Cranky Kong's his big white beard.
I had his beard and glasses.
Yeah, okay. We can add that.
And his head.
Okay, no.
Like at the top of his head.
Stop it. Get the F out. Get out of my house. That's right. I'm in charge now. I was always in charge, let's be honest. Ah, feck, he's back. Alright, well, since you're back, why don't you go ahead and hit us with your first taunt idea?
Okay. Speaking of potions, Cranky shakes a potion around in his spare hand. Like this.
Sure.
Which...
A potion.
Which puffs up in his face. So,
So it has like the foam that kind of goes up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the remnants, after he does this motion, the remnants last on his face for a few seconds as he continues fighting. And it could be green, red, blue, yellow, orange, purple. Just kind of a callback to DK64.
Okay. For my first one, I have down that Cranky Kong is going to try and mimic one of Donkey Kong's taunts where he beats his fist against his chest. However, when Cranky Kong tries this, it causes them to begin to wheeze uncontrollably. He's not the young Kong he used to be.
I had considered something like that, but without the wheezing, so I mean, you get the points right there too.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh my fucking god. Okay. Secondly, for me, Cranky takes out a newspaper, and it has like it's Super Smash News, and it'll have like a picture of a random character on the front of it, and he reads that. He's just like happily, for a second, then he folds it up and just tucks it back away into his pocket.
Okay. For my
Because he's old.
Oh yeah,
Newspaper.
he's really old.
Yeah.
For my second one, Cranky Kong is going to face towards the screen as a talk bubble is going to appear next to him. The talk bubble is going to have a variety of different rants or advice that Cranky Kong can give to the player and other fighters. Some possible quotes are, "That's right, 4 shades of gray in a 2x2 character block. That's all we had." Or, "Don't forget to save your replay." He could say, "Give me some of those coins. I have bills to pay." Or even, "Just because you try hard doesn't mean you'll make it into the battle." Or he might just say, "You must recover."
Okay.
Yeah. It had to go for some of the memes there.
You must recover. Okay, there you go. The next thing you'll say, the enemy. And you're and last but not least, little simpler. Cranky, an irate Cranky shakes his cane and grumbles towards his foes. Like, "Get off my lawn." Like, rah, 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 rah. That's that.
It's funny you mentioned an irate Cranky Kong shaking his cane at his foes. Because for my final taunt, Rabid Cranky will appear over Cranky Kong's shoulder and wave his cane aggressively towards the other fighters.
What the fuck? What?
Yes, Rabid Cranky, much like a Zerda, is essentially riding on Cranky Kong's back the whole time. Like, he's not actually, like, in battle scene there. But for this time, he kind of comes out of Cranky Kong's back and just shakes his cane.
Okay.
Get wrecked.
Well, that was unexpected. What is Cranky Kong's reaction to this creature on his back?
I mean, he's down for it. Like, he's letting it happen. Cranky Kong and Rabid Cranky just, like, have a connection, you know?
Mm-hmm. What a guy. What a fucking hell.
I was like, that's why I had you go first, and I see that one for last one. Just like, please let me be the only one that does Rabid Cranky, please.
Yeah, I didn't expect a third-party crossover. Okay, cool.
That's 2.5 party. 2.5 party. It's like Gino.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Gino. Who?
Anywho, your first victory pose.
Cranky rocks back and forth in his wooden chair, kind of racking his cane back and forth as he makes some noises with a speech bubble over his head that's like, "Well, back in my day," and you can extend that. I just don't know what else to put. Maybe a random phrase or whatever.
Okay. For mine, Cranky Kong will be seen sleeping in his rocking chair as it rocks back and forth. That fight wore him out, and he deserves a nice rest.
Yeah, there you go.
He's sleeping.
Good. And then the next one, Cranky taps his foot while playing a vinyl record on his megaphone, the original Donkey Kong Country theme song.
Cranky Kong will pull out a phonograph and slam it down on the ground as it plays out the first few seconds of the main theme of the original Donkey Kong instead of his normal victory music.
I think the Donkey Kong Country theme song is a play on the Donkey Kong theme song, isn't it?
I have no idea. Sure.
Yeah, if I recall. So it's basically it's the same thing.
Basically.
I just called it a megaphone because I'm an idiot. It is a phonograph. You're not even the music guy. That's funny. Whoops. Okay. And then Cranky floats in and drops from a red life balloon, and then he scratches the back of his head and just kind of happily chuckles.
I also considered a red life balloon for the entrance animation, actually.
Mm-hmm. I considered it for something else too. We'll get there.
But for his victory pose, or his last one, I wrote down, Cranky Kong is going to bounce down from the top of the screen on his cane. Cranky Kong
Mm-hmm.
won't stick the landing quite right, though. He's going to stumble a bit before he regains his footing, leaning hard on his cane for support. He's
Okay,
not the
so he doesn't fall on the
athletic,
caskets yet.
agile monkey he used to be.
Yeah, you can't quite kidnap the same anymore.
Mm-mm.
Imagine
So
a
we have
yeah,
some
sorry.
similarities. What we
Some,
gonna do?
some.
Because we have
Imagine Cranky Kong. Yeah,
like I
like
think I
in
think phonograph
18.
and rocking chair are both going to be in victory poses, but it's a matter of
Agreed.
like which exact version we're going to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think yours
Yeah.
has quotes, but mine doesn't have quotes. Instead, he's sleeping. But then I have a quote one for a taunt.
Mm-hmm. I it's interesting. It's interesting. Because mine were all pretty solid. You did kind of take it a peg further into the zany area for these taunts. Um,
I'm
I
definitely
think
willing to
that
drop the chest beating taunt. I definitely
right.
think that's like of mine. That's what I'm most willing to drop.
And of mine, it's the cane because you did the same thing, but with Rabid Cranky, which is just bizarre and should be in. So, I mean, I think we should fast track that because what the hell is that shit?
I agree.
Um,
I
yeah, well,
absolutely agree.
I'm sure you do. um, Cranky. Then the other ones were the potion for me, and then the newspaper with the Smash News. I don't know which of the two you think is stronger of those. I think it may be the newspaper.
I think we could
Um,
combine the newspaper with my quotes.
yeah, you could be reading the newspaper and reacting to the article.
Like he could have it out at him. Like he looks at it real quick, and then he looks at the screen and he says a quote.
Hmm. Yeah,
That could
okay.
be easily done.
I mean, that works. That works. That works. Then I forget what your other taunt was then.
My other taunt was the chest beating, where he wheezes.
Oh, okay.
So it pretty much becomes
And
either
my
that or
other one.
potion.
And okay. Uh, do you have a lean on this one? I like the chest beating, but what I would say
Mm-hmm.
is that between that and then the falling from the sky and the victory pose, I like the characterization, but there is room. Maybe there's room for one.
Fair enough. I'm good to go.
Hmm.
I'm good to go with the potion.
Okay. Well, in that case, we have the taunts sorted out
All right.
in record time for this kind of thing. I think.
I mean, Cranky Kong is not that difficult to really work with, honestly.
No,
We're
he,
more
he
talking
has a
about
couple
variations
characters.
here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then victory poses. So we're saying yes, there should be a
A rocking chair and a
line.
photograph,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So
Uh,
can you? Oh, yours was sleeping.
yeah, mine's sleeping, but yours
Mm-hmm.
he
And
was
I.
saying
Yeah.
a quote. But I think we had saying a quote and then my quotes. What I think those are kind of overlap as well, kind of like the chest beating and the
Mm-hmm.
cane landing.
I agree. I agree. And for that reason, I would say that your sleeping is preferred here, and I think we should go for that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we have him just tapping his foot and playing the phonograph with the original theme song. And then yours is literally the same thing, but he slams it down first. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not sure where you want to go there.
I mean, I
Um,
think we could have the phonograph just like already be there and he's tapping his foot. The bigger question is like, do we
mhm,
want the music from the original Donkey Kong game or do we want the music from Donkey Kong Country?
mhm.
I went with the
I
original game because that's where
think,
he is originally from, but that could go
yeah,
either way.
I kind of feel like the original game's music, I'm going to look it up real quick here, is literally the same jingle, and I just didn't remember. Let's see.
Do, do, do,
Yep,
do,
yep,
do. It
yep.
is?
It's the same. It's the same. Yep.
Okay.
And then there you go. Yeah.
Then for like Smashtopia, I'm just gonna write the original Kong just because that kind of fits better in.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll know it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So
Okay.
that's easy. That's both of our taunts are the
Yeah.
same.
And I'll just
Victor
make a
does the same
slight change
thing.
to our word so that it's already on the ground and he's tapping his foot. Cool.
Right. And that, yeah, because then there's life balloon, and there's the
Hmm.
falling from the cane, and I like the life balloon reference, but I feel like there's room for him to stumble a little bit. So I'm fond of the cane, and we can go that
And
way.
and there's still other Donkey Kong characters that we could cover feasibly to throw a life balloon on. Tiny Kong, Kitty Kong, Chunky, Linky. I don't know if actual life balloons are in 64, but Funky Kong as well. Like either any of them could be life balloons, or I could go back and edit my
Kitty
old
Kong.
Dixie Kong submission and get it to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be fair too, a lot of these characters are less fleshed out than Cranky Kong and may need a little bit of that bolster.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like Funky, we could give him something to do with his airplane, but what the fuck would you do for Kitty Kong?
Hopefully nothing. He's a little bastard. This is kid.
Wow.
Look at the way his socks move and his onesie. The little.
I don't think I've ever seen Donkey Kong Country 3 gameplay, so I don't know how Kitty is at all.
I think it's funny that it's Donkey Kong Country, and then those first 3 games only have Donkey Kong playable in one.
Yeah. Because like in the second game, he's kidnapped, so Diddy Kong gets his friend to help free Donkey Kong. And the third game, it's like, oh, Donkey and Diddy are kidnapped, so now you gotta play as Dixie and her friend Kitty. It's like, so was the fourth game gonna be Dixie gets kidnapped? You gotta play as Kitty and somebody else?
If that was the come around on Cranky Kong being playable back then, I would have been for it, but we got that eventually.
Yeah. It took a while. It took a long while.
Yeah.
But speaking of being playable, moveset. Let's go with this.
Baby Jones.
Standard, special. Who wants to start?
I don't know. You want to flip a coin?
Red or green?
Red.
Where did it go? There it is. Oh, it came up red.
Okay. I guess that's me then.
Yep.
Very nice. Okay, so the standard special is pulled from Tropical Freeze.
Oh, okay.
Cranky's dentures. Cranky happily takes his dentures out and angles them. So this is similar to Ocelot Shot from Revolver Ocelot, where you're able to angle the direction of where the dentures are thrown, and you see a little guiding cursor kind of showing you the general trajectory. That changes, if you throw it against a wall, it'll show that it'll bounce back. Anyway, you can angle it however you like, or just toss it, and it'll chatter along the stage until it reaches an opponent, in which case it'll jump onto the opponent and begin stacking up damage by repeatedly biting them, kind of like a Pikmin. But because it's only one thing, it has to have more incentive than a Pikmin toss. So it's constantly making them flinch, so it's a little tougher and harder to knock off. And if you charge it, you can throw it faster, you can throw it further. It'll last a little longer on the stage. And there you go.
Okay.
And as Cranky is fighting, he's running, and his dentures are on the stage and not in his mouth. You're seeing him with no teeth running around doing his thing. And maybe that'd alter his voice clips a little bit. He'd be like, "What?"
No. 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 We're moving on to a little move I like to call denture pop gun.
Oh my god.
Which is what it's called in Tropical Freeze, because Cranky Kong in Tropical Freeze is not taking his dentures out and tossing them. He's just... It looks like they're coming out of his cane. He just tosses out a pair of dentures. So I took this in a bit of a different direction, but it's still similar. Whereas you kind of base them off of your Ocelot shot from the Revolver Ocelot moves that you created, I'm taking more of a Bowser Jr.'s Mecha Koopas route with this. So Cranky Kong will toss out a pair of dentures, and they kind of look like, those wind-up toys with like a wind-up pair of teeth kind of toy. That's kind of what I had them looking like here. And he's going to just toss it short distance away from him. No aiming at all on this. These dentures, again, as I mentioned, act like Bowser Jr.'s Mecha Koopas as they move across the platform. They are thrown on for a short time, kind of like a little bit of walking. But if the dentures are able to make contact with another fighter, they will bite down hard onto their leg, or whatever they can latch onto, dealing damage and a small amount of knockback. The dentures will move around for about 7 seconds, and if they're unable to bite onto an opponent, then they'll just break apart in a small, very small explosion where they just kind of fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
These dangers will also break on contact if they hit an opponent's shield. Unlike Bowser Jr.'s Mecha Koopas, these dangers cannot be picked up and thrown. They're more just like a trapped turret. It's just like you put them here and opponents don't want to go that way. If Cranky Kong tries to
Mm-hmm.
send out a second pair of dentures, while one is already on the field, the previous dentures will immediately break apart as if their timer had run out. So you could kind of do that if somebody is getting close to them, and maybe you think the explosion will do more to them. You can just do that and then throw out a new pair. Now they're getting hit by this very small AOE.
Okay. Very nice. There you go. Uh, let's keep that train rolling for now. With the side special of Bongo Rocket,
Okay.
where Cranky leaps aboard his trusty Bongo Rockets from the vastly celebrated and nuanced racing title DK Bongo Blast.
Fan favorite.
Powering ahead. Yep. And you know, like in the Bucks are, he's powering ahead with an outstretched fist. Very happy to be on this thing. So it's similar-ish to Diddy's up special, right? And that it can be angled a certain way at the onset of the move, and it can overheat as well if you take it too far. So you want to make sure that you jump off eventually, and then it'll explode and do its thing. So it takes you barreling several feet forward, and the bongos explode upon impact with an opponent or a wall or whatever. And if you press the B button or the special button, whatever, you can repeatedly have Cranky smack the bongos and make him propel faster while also increasing the power of this jet stream behind it. So he will travel faster, maybe further. The explosion's power will be a little more powerful, but it will also explode sooner. So you have to watch out for that.
Okay.
There you go.
I considered going with the bongo for either like
Mm-hmm.
the side of the up, but I decided against it in
Mm-hmm.
favor of a couple of other things. For the side special, I'm going with barrel toss. So Cranky Kong is just going to roll forward a classic, original arcade style little barrel that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
rolling forward. These barrels are on these smaller scale and are actually shorter than Kirby, which makes it fairly easy to jump over them, which makes a lot of sense. They should be able to be jumped over. If they hit an opponent, then they'll be damaged and they'll also get knocked backwards horizontally up into the air. These barrels will also break on impact, either when they roll into an opponent, wall, a large item like a crate, or they just roll off a platform and land on top of another one. They will not roll off a platform and land and keep rolling. They'll just roll, land, and break.
Mm-hmm.
But they could hit an opponent while they're in the air like that. Additionally, there's a 10% chance that when Cranky Kong uses this move, he'll instead roll out a blue explosive barrel instead. These barrels
Mm-hmm.
will explode on contact, dealing a greater amount of fire damage and knockback, and these are pretty much the barrels where those little cfire enemies from the original Donkey Kong game will come out of.
Nice. So you'll have those little like potable things come out of the barrels.
No, no,
Or okay,
it's just an explosive barrel.
okay, understood. Nice. I like the callback. I was thinking about a barrel toss too. We'll maybe get to something similar in my moveset.
Oh.
We'll see. But in the meantime, his up special is leaning. There are a couple things. Again, I considered a life balloon here,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to give him a little more ammo than that. You know, since the life balloon needed to be kind of floating
Sure, sure.
generally. Uh, so I gave him a friend of his, a buddy per se, uh, named Squawks the parrot.
Oh, not Rabbit Cranky?
Yeah. So, no, no, to see appear again. Oh my god. So Cranky, you know, he's holding onto Squawks' feet, and it's kind of a free moving move, like Pit's original up special from Brawl, where you're moving around until Cranky becomes too much to hold, and Squawks just becomes too labored and breathy and just kind of leaves and makes him fall. It will take you. It could take you about as high up as Snake Cipher if you decide to just go straight up. Uh, Pressing the special attack button while on your way up will have Squawks shoot an egg in a downward arc onto opponents. The egg can crack onto an opponent and produce minor flinch damage while also procuring a yolk that they can slip on for a certain amount of time.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's that.
So I didn't really use antibodies at all in my moveset. I don't have a life balloon from it of special. So you're probably wondering, like, well, what the fuck is your up special? How the hell is Cranky Kong getting into the air?
He's gonna
Well,
jump like Scrooge McDuck.
no, actually, although I did consider
Oh,
that as well.
helicopter cane.
No, no, but you're close.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Jetpack.
Oh. Okay. What?
So there's actually a reason behind this. So first of all, Rare's very first game was the game called Jetpack, Jetpac, and in Donkey Kong 64, in Cranky's lab, there is a playable version of Jetpack that you can play.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of took it as in DK lore, Cranky created the video game Jetpack. So for this official, Cranky Kong is going to be wearing a bamboo and coconut style jetpack of his own design from his professor days that he's going to use to ascend up into the skies. And this is going to work similarly to Rob's Robo Burner, where you have to keep the special button hold in order to keep going up. And if you let go of it, he's going to start to fall. Additionally, there's only so much pineapple juice in his jetpack tank. And so when it starts to run out, he's going to fall downwards in a state of free fall. So try to be over platform whenever you run out, or just land before you run out.
Well, that's fun, and also that talking about freaking Kamek guy. Like, good lord, that's something he would have done out of
but
nowhere.
He didn't.
Like, he didn't. No, he didn't. Maybe he would have 10 years later, but you beat him to it. Jesus Christ. Down
I
special.
knew I was going to get you with Rabbit Cranky. I knew I was going to get you a jetpack.
Yeah, it's in Ingenue, that's for sure. Down special is Pogo Cane. I wanted to lean into this, and there's the argument it could be a down aerial, right? But here, it's a good chance to meteor smash. You're leaping up and down in this cane. You kind of activate it, leap up into the air, and then leap back down. But unlike other moves like this, like Yoshi or Bowser Bomb, you can stack the move up to 5 times. So each consecutive time becomes a little harder to control and find the rhythm for successfully chaining. But assuming you do, the meteor smash chances become higher. It becomes a more powerful move. And you can cancel out the move at any time, with exception to the final time. So if you kind of botch it on that last drop, Cranky just kind of falls on his ass. So you got to be careful with that. But it's it was fun. It's a simple little move, but I think it's a nice callback.
Okay. So my down special is actually my least favorite of my moves, and it's CK Pogo. Originally, I did not want to do this move for the down special. I was gonna just earmark it in this like down aerial move, because kind of like what it does with the Master Sword. So it's kind of the similar thing. But I didn't have another idea that I liked for the down special. I was like, fuck it, Pogo stick with this. Mine's very similar to yours. It seems a bit different. So for this one, Cranky Kong's going to grip tightly onto his staff and put all his weight onto it. He's prepared to jump up and use it like a pogo stick. If he just uses it on the ground, it's just going to be a very short hop in the air that he'll then, just plunge straight down on the ground with. And granted, opponents who are hit by the staff are dealt damage with a small amount of knockback, while aerial opponents are sent falling straight down as if they had been footstool jumped or meteor smashed. Cranky Kong is able to chain a series of jumps with this special, representing the non-special input at the same time his staff collides with something, whether it's the stage or another character. And with each chain jump that Cranky Kong performs, the damage and knockback from the move increases. However, while you cap yours out at 5, I capped mine at only 3. I felt like when I was writing this out, I felt like, okay, 3 sounds like enough. Past that, I'm starting to wonder if maybe too much. But that was just where I took it.
Got it. It's almost the same move.
Yeah, it's just what the amount of where we cap it that changes.
Yeah, we'll get to that too when we deliberate. But it's well, I guess there's one move that's making it in.
Well, we'll see. Because I actually have some thoughts that I'd like to talk about when we get there.
Okay. So my final smash for Cranky Kong is called The Old Days.
Okay.
So so Cranky sits in his rocking chair, and he's kind of closing his eyes and smiling, and he's reminiscing on the past. So as this is happening, we quickly zoom in on a thought bubble over his head with an 8-bit Donkey Kong kind of on top of 25am beating his chest. But suddenly, this thought bubble consumes the stage, and this 8-bit DK is just there, and you can control it and go on a rampage with it across the stage.
Similar to PD Run, but smaller.
Right. So you're pressing the special attack button, and he'll roll an oil barrel, or press the standard attack button, he'll beat his chest and send out like shockwaves from around his body. And just ram into opponents and rack up damage. So you can move fairly quickly, and it's just that 8-bit static sprite beating its chest, just flying everywhere.
Okay. So it's kind of like you're just basically controlling flying around the Donkey Kong sprite from the 75mm stage, but Cranky Kong didn't turn into sprite. He just thought it up, and he's just sitting on the stage imagining this happening, more or less.
Pretty much. And eventually dissipates, and he wakes up and back to normal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For mine, here we go again. So this final smash will begin with Rabid Cranky appearing out from behind Cranky Kong's back and just leaping up and just fucking flying forwards through the air in a straight line. If Rabid Cranky is able to make contact with an opponent, he's going to grab onto their shoulders with one hand and just grab the background of the screen with the other as he rips the background away as we transition into a cutscene. At this point,
that's surprising already.
Hey, I figure rabbits can break the fourth wall, because why the fuck not? The cutscene is going to pick up with the opponent picking themselves off the ground at Banana Lagoon, only to find themselves face to face with both Cranky Kong and Rabid Cranky standing side by side. Additionally, both Cranky and Rabid Cranky are going to be armed with a pair of boom bows with explosive barrel bolts as their ammunition, which is Rabid Cranky's weaponry in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle in the Donkey Kong DLC, which I forgot what that part was called. But these two Cranky Kongs are then going to unleash an absolute assault of explosive barrels at the opponent, who eventually just gets blown sky high from the sheer number of explosives before they reappear back on the field of battle, heavily damaged and knocked the fuck away, as the two Cranksters just let them have it. Sometimes you have the wild shit. Sometimes I get my revenge. And this time, my revenge is Rabid Cranky.
Where's the toilet paper in all this?
There
Holy
is no
cow!
toilet paper.
That's unfortunate. Jesus Christ. Okay, we'll certainly get to more on that in just a little bit. Oh, you can say it's unexpected. You can certainly say it's unexpected.
Yeah.
So
you definitely
that's
can.
funny. That's funny. Yeah. So I mean, you took it in a way no one else would. I'll tell you that. Very interesting. But before that, let's wrap this up. Extra skills, other skills, and get into this shit.
Yep.
So my extra skill. This was a little hard to really wrap my head around. I could have done potions like Kamikaze did, but I felt the need to not do what Kamikaze did. So it's Barrel Shield. Cranky leaps into his trusty CK barrel. While inside of the barrel, Cranky can duck inside. Inside of this barrel, he is free from harm. It could be damaged itself and eventually broken and tossed and picked up by opponents, but Cranky is impervious to damage while he's inside of it. So you have to rack up a good amount of damage onto that barrel in order for him to be hurt. The trade-off being he's not doing much of anything else but just sitting there. And he can be picked up and kind of tossed around, so you got to watch out if you're towards a ledge and hop out of there real quick. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, I kind of view it as like a last-ditch effort to avoid something like a charged projectile or something like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and of course there's limits too. Like I can't imagine it would be impervious to most Final Smashes. But yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So I also have a defensive extra skill, but mine is actually a potion, but it's a very specific potion, not just like an RNG type of thing like Kamikaze went with. I'm pulling from Donkey Kong 64 here, where in this game there were a variety of abilities that each of the Kongs could learn that Cranky Kong would be able to gift them through potions.
Oh, yeah.
But for this specific ability, this is actually one ability.
Oh.
What?
He's gonna do the butt slam, isn't he?
No.
Sorry. Okay.
He's not
Okay.
doing that. This ability that I'm taking is actually an ability that Donkey Kong gets in 64. And I
Oh.
figured that's a good choice because Donkey Kong already has a moveset, so I don't really need to use this for him. And it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
the ability Strong Kong. So Cranky Kong is going to pull out a potion filled with a purple liquid. And he's just going to immediately dump its contents down his throat. For the next 3 seconds, Cranky Kong will be completely immune to any knockback. But you'll still take all damage as per normal. The trade-off is that Cranky Kong can only drink this potion and activate these effects at once per stock. And, again, if it's... he can still be pulled into a final smash, but, like, if it's something that's some things it's a little hard to like figure out how it's going to interact with. Like, I imagine the dragoon is still going to hurt him, but it won't send him flying. But the timing you got to do it on is very small. Maybe the amount of seconds should be lowered from 3, because 3 seconds kind of sounds like I'm thinking about it in my head and what kind of attacks there could be. That feels like a long time. Like you could feasibly get out of Samus's final smash in 3 seconds. So maybe just change that down to
Mm-hmm.
like 1 or 1.5 seconds. But that's Strong Kong.
Okay. And it certainly works. That's
Yes.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now we kind of have... Oh, unless there's other skills you need to talk about, which for me,
As far as unique traits,
yeah.
that kind of stuff, I don't have anything down for that. He's old. He's not going to be wall jumping. And if he starts to crawl on the ground, he's not going to get up.
I had it down that he can crawl, but I see your point. So, okay.
He can't crawl.
Yeah.
Why can't Metroid crawl?
Why can't Kranuki crawl? Okay. Well, now comes the long part of this episode, probably.
So
Just divvying out the specials.
I have some thoughts. But I'm thinking let's start off with the dentures. Between Cranky's dentures and the denture popgun, both very similar, but some slight variances to how they work. What are your thoughts here, first of all?
Oh, this seems like one that may loosely be able to have elements of both invoked into it.
Okay.
Possibly.
Which elements?
Because the execution of yours is quite similar to mine, but with a beginning and an end that are different.
Okay.
So in between that, angling the shot, we could potentially have that involved as well. And if not, then so be it. Otherwise, those are my initial thoughts.
I'm not opposed to a slight angle. I don't know about the ricochet part though. I don't think this really needs the ricochet. Like it works for Ocelot Shock. That's just like a straight up projectile. But this is more of like a trap that's like kind of going around trying to bite people's legs. So I don't think the ricochet really works on it.
Sure. Okay.
What
then
elements of yours were you thinking of?
That's about it, isn't it? Because yours has all the other generalities. You're just summoning it in a different way, but then it's still latching onto an opponent, dishing out consistent knockback, and then blowing up as an added little bonus.
Tiny.
So okay, yeah, let's just go. Yeah, let's just go with that one.
Okay, works for me. I'll just make a quick note to add in the angling on it. The next thing, let's look at the up specials here. We got jetpack and we got
Squawks.
That's right, squawks. I was thinking life balloon. I was like, I know it's not life balloon, but what was it? So jetpack versus squawks. Kind of like Pit's Brawl Up special versus Rob's Up special.
Right, and Pitts up special with a slight buff.
Right.
Right.
There's
Interesting there
definitely a
because
case to
Squawks,
involve the animal buddies. I didn't really
hmm
keep them in mind at all for Cranky Kong because partly in my mind animal buddies are assist trophies, but that doesn't mean they can't be in movesets. But I also Cranky, like I don't know,
yeah,
I just didn't really come up with them really.
right, right.
I don't know if that's because
Well, yeah, that
when I
was
remade Donkey Kong, I put all of the pretty much all the animal buddies in his final smash for a big old stampede kind of video, or
hmm
if it's just because I was thinking in my head the only game that he deals with animal buddies is Tropical Freeze, which I think is just Rambi. The new Donkey Kong Country
uh
games really don't have much of the buddies at all like the older games did. So I think that's just why I didn't have it in my head.
true, but Squawks isn't Tropical Freeze.
True, but he's in the shop only. Like you get to buy
Right,
him,
right. Oh
which
yeah, that's
is a
right.
point in Cranky Kong's
From
favor of having
Funky,
him. I didn't think about it.
right. From Funky's shop, and Funky's not going to use Animal Buddies when we get to him. That's just
No,
not going to happen.
like if
But
anybody's gonna use animal, but it's gonna be like Kitty and Tiny. Or,
hmm
yeah.
AKA the characters that don't necessarily have much of anything else.
Kitty's entire moveset could be the animal buddies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, give him some merit finally in his life.
I don't even know if
Um,
Kitty has his own like techniques that he can even fucking do. I'm sure he has one thing, kind of like how Dixie Kong, or like how Diddy has his cartwheel and Dixie has her ponytail. But
hmm Let's see. Kind of the reason we went with Squawks here for me is I wanted to avoid Life Balloon being that it would be a fairly it just felt a little too simple, right?
mm-hmm.
Uh, so I went with Squawks because there's no way in hell I would have thought of Jetpack.
Yeah,
Other than that, I mean, there's shades of Poochie in this thing. It's like, yes, you get a vaguely competent general moveset, and then you get like, what the fuck is this from you? And then it's like, okay, it works out. A bit of a trend this season, actually. Now that I think about it,
we've had some wild characters this season. We started off
mhm.
really weird with Pooch, and then we had something pretty good with standard with Medusa, and we went wild with Ninja Birdman. We did some Pokeballs. Now we're going wild with Cranky Kong. Who knows what
Yeah,
the rest of the year will
yeah,
have for us? I mean, we do, but you don't.
no, no, unless it's you and I watching this episode back, in which case we do. Um, it's actually I don't really do that, so I think we're good.
I can't watch my own
Let's
content. I
see.
can't do it. I listen to it just enough to be where I can do my editing process, but then beyond that, it's like I can't listen to my own voice. I can't.
Yeah, I understand that. Side special. What was the side special? What was your side special again? Oh, it was the
My side
barrel roll.
special was barrel toss, which I have some thoughts
hmm
on, and I was gonna kind of save
hmm
some that kind of stuff for last.
Got it. Okay. The only thing that I'm thinking of is, will there be room for Bongo, Rocket, and Jetpack? I think there could be
I think there
if we
is.
get to that point.
I think there
So
is.
I would just say, at this point, it's fast tracking 2 of your moves in a row. But I mean, there's Jetpack is a great idea. So I mean, we should go on that.
Okay.
I think we should go in that direction.
So after this point, since you mentioned the Bongo Blast move, can you go over the details for that for me again, so I have them in my head?
Sure. He jumps up on the Bongo rockets. It's kind of like a car, but bongos, and he's powering ahead with them. So there's flames coming out of the back, and you can angle it a little bit. And if you're repeatedly pressing that special button, then Cranky is smacking the bongos, and that will make the rockets propel faster, leading to a quicker explosion time.
Okay. So here's my
Yeah.
question: When you're saying that you can angle them, are you saying that like, uh, you can kind of pick an angle, but then once it starts, it's just going in a straight line, kind of like a Fox illusion, but a Fox illusion that could go a little bit in the air? Or are you saying that you can control it as it's moving to a degree, like maybe
You
like
can
in this kind
control
of
it
way?
as it's moving. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Okay.
to that kind of degree.
How?
So a little bit up, a little bit down.
Okay, so you can pretty much do this kind of like the old.
hmm
Okay. Okay.
hmm
But not free movement, which is the important point I wanted to get to. Because something that I was kind of
Right.
thinking, because I mentioned before that I had originally had in mind to do CK Pogo, it's just say it's the down aerial and just call it a there. Because
Right.
Toon Link, you can still keep the whole chaining thing. Because Toon Link, his sword, no, not Toon Link, Greninja, when he does his down aerial, you can chain that shit. You can, like, he bounces up and
Mm-hmm.
you can immediately go back down. You don't have to, like, specify the timing of it. He just bounces up and you can just do the motion again. But you can still do something like
Yeah.
that with the Pogo and just say it's a down aerial. So kind of what we could do is have the bongo
Mm-hmm.
move be the side special and the barrel toss be the down special.
Yeah. There's a fair argument there.
That's what I was thinking.
I think we both approached the pogo as something that's good for Cranky,
Mm-hmm.
but also kind of basic for a special move.
Right. Like, it works
So,
if there's other
yeah.
characters that do similar things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it could just as easily be on the down aerial, and we have other things that can go in that spot.
Yeah, that's fair, and I do like the barrel toss move. That was something that I was thinking of before I did the denture. So, cool. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. We should definitely have one thing that harkens back to that era for Cranky as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So extra skill. I have my strong Kong, and you have your barrel shield.
Mm-hmm.
What we think?
Essentially,
Similar.
it's funny how they. Yeah, I was gonna say it's funny how they landed on similar functions, given that we didn't have any clue what each other's moveset was
Yeah.
gonna be. Um,
I mean, we
Strong Kong
both
is a
knew we were
cool
going to do
nod.
the dentures. We both knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah. Everything else though is up in the air. Strong Kong though, fun callback to N64, DK64. And again, kind of a nice nod to Kamek Guy when he did that moveset in the past. So I do like it, and it has its pros over CK Barrel where you are free moving still.
Yeah.
CK Barrel also has its pros though, where it's not lasting for a second or a second and a half. It's lasting for potentially several more seconds, depending on the strength of the attack that is being dealt upon it. But its con being that Cranky can't really move and
Right.
could potentially be launched inside of it. So I kind of see the argument for both. Before I argue either way, I'm kind of wondering what your thoughts are.
So my thoughts. I like harkening back to like having him do the potion thing because that's just a fun thing. I do think the time needs to probably be dialed back in 3 seconds. When I started thinking about some of these attacks, he can just completely go through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like either lower the number of seconds or make him be stationary. One of the two needs to happen with
Mm-hmm.
Strong Kong. But also being stationary for
Right.
3 seconds is fucking rough. So
Yeah. Yeah.
with the barrel shield, one thing that I just in particular don't like is I don't like that people can pick you up. I do not
Mm-hmm.
like that. Now, attacking the barrel and possibly breaking it, and then kind of
Mm-hmm.
leaving you as a sitting duck and like you got to run at this point, that works for me. But I don't like the being able to pick up and toss you deal because that just essentially
Sure.
makes Cranky on a sitting duck, and I'm not a fan
Mm-hmm.
of that. It's
Oh,
one
he's a duck.
thing
You
when
think
you
he's
go
cheating
into
in
a
there?
state of free fall because you did a move in the air, but just be like, okay, I used special. I'm good now. I'm safe. And it's like, oh, they're picking me up. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason that's there is for the sake of the visual, and I would imagine with him inside of it, it would be a slower roll. At the same time, no, I get it. It's kind of a nerf on the move. So, okay, how about this? For future consideration of this move, let's just assume it cannot be picked up.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So just to make sure I have the clarity on this move, he hides inside of a barrel. It's essentially temporary health points
Mm-hmm.
where he can't be knocked back. So
Right.
he gets essentially like he has a shield, so he can't be damaged as quickly, and not. I would say like when the damage is broken, then he gets knocked back a fair distance, but it's sort of
Right.
a shield there. I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
that, but
it's a
I
damage.
do
It's
think
a
we want to
damage
say
con.
that it
Yeah,
has limited uses per stock.
sure. Like what? Maybe
That or a
3%.
timer.
Mm-hmm.
The three
Where
per
you're
stock.
waiting
If
for
it's gonna be
maybe.
3 per stock, what kind of health are you thinking this match has? Like how much damage does it take to break the barrel?
30%, maybe
Okay.
25.
And
Yeah.
he stays in it for how long?
In perpetuity.
Can he get out of it on his
Okay,
own?
so maybe, yeah,
Okay.
maybe less damage then.
Yeah, considerably. Considerably. Especially if it's 3 fucking stops. What I will probably
Yeah.
do is what I will probably say. Here's where I'm gonna roll some things out at you. 30% health, sure. He can leave it whenever he wants, but each time he gets back into it, the health does not recharge. It stays at its previous
Hmm.
value, and once it's broken,
Hmm.
it's broke for that entire stock.
Sure. Okay.
That's my
Okay.
suggestion.
Yeah. Interesting. An interesting compromise. No, it works. It keeps the move balanced and better balanced than being able to be thrown around would
Yeah.
be. So okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. And interesting. We still haven't chosen between it and the potion though. There's certainly merits for the potion. So
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? Like taking into account these proposed changes to barrel shield versus strong Kong at lasting maybe 1 or 1.5 seconds.
Right. And Strong Kong just kind of is a sponge for just literally anything, pretty much, right?
Yeah, you still take the damage,
Okay.
but there's no
Mm-hmm.
knockback. Meanwhile, with the barrel shield, there's no damage or knockback until the barrel shield gets broken. And if you're in it when it breaks, you get launched.
Right. Okay. Okay. Either is good. Either fills a defensive void, I guess the character had because we both came up with this kind of move.
Yeah.
Um, I this is one where I am leaning towards my own here because thinking about where it's lined up,
Mm-hmm.
there seems to be a little tiny bit more benefit for Cranky with the barrel,
I agree with
and
that.
that's my thought. I like the aesthetic of the potion more actually because of the callback to DK64,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think the barrel shield is a little more um,
Useful.
utilitarian. Yes. Yeah.
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 And that's why I proposed the changes to barrel shield because in its base state, I just saw a lot of red flags. Like, oh, this needs
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
limits.
Yeah.
Holy shit. But with limits defined and at a level that I think works, I'm good with barrel shield.
Okay. Ooh, and the ah. There you go.
Okay, so the last thing to figure out with the moveset is the final smash. We've got Cranky Kong dreaming up his old days as the original DK that just kind of travels around the stages and just smashes things. Or we have Barrel Bolt Barrage with Cranky Kong teaming up with Rabid Cranky to just blow the enemy to smithereens. I think you know my lean.
The
I think you
obsession with
know.
Rabbit Cranky in this thing is so unprecedented. But of course, I know you're lean. This is interesting because we both have moves on the table that are, we've talked like with squawks. I mean, that could be applied to Kitty Kong or whoever, or be an assist trophy. This is one where it pretty much just is Cranky's move, no matter how we lean.
Yeah.
Um,
Theoretically, Rabbid Cranky
yeah.
could have his own moveset, but I don't know enough about Mario plus Rabbids to really do anything.
Oh, sure. I mean,
And I
that
don't
would
know if he
be
actually could. I don't know. I just know
that
he
would be
has that crossbow and he can shoot explosive barrels. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Ubisoft for even coming up with Rabid Cranky in DLC. I mean, good for them knowing what's good.
And not just
Um,
doing Rabbid DK as playable.
hmm Right, right. Or and Wario and Waluigi. I mean, you got to give them credit where credit's due. Um, it's a good game. I don't know if you bought it on that
I
sale, but it's a
did
good
not.
game.
And I don't think the style
Okay.
of gameplay I would really. I mean, it's RPG like. It's. I mean, it is an RPG, but its exact style. I don't know.
It's kind of tactical RPG, but it's
Like
more
people say
fluid
like,
and
oh, it's
open.
like XCOM. It's like cool. I don't know XCOM.
Neither do I. The closest that I could say it is it's like Final Fantasy Tactics, but also
More math.
Valkyria Chronicles, so it's weird. Yeah, it's more RTS like than Tactics.
Right.
There's elements of both, and it's hard. It is hard. I rage quit that game a couple times.
Mario plus Rabbids, you
I
rage
was
quit?
like, yeah, it's like, who needs these fucking animals anyway? But I mean, up until that game, we hated rabbits. With that said, a little. That one time, the one on the moon was kind of cool. He, except for rabbit cranky, clearly there's a clear romance happening here. Like, what the fuck? Okay, so I do like my final smash and where we took it. Looking back, it's very cranky, right? You have the dreamscape, you have the callback to the old school DK, without being full on Mercurius and saying, I'm going to make an old school DK moveset.
Yeah, or
which
Kart Mario.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh god, was that a Kamek guy moveset? He did Bathtub Mario. I know that much.
I'd have to look.
With that said, and I like the function.
It was Nightmare.
Because
Nightmare did it.
Oh my god. I almost forgot about Nightmare. It's been a while.
How dare you?
Nightmare
was on the original ZEJ back in the day.
He was, and then he's driven away for good reason.
Yeah.
Miss him though. He was a steady kid. All said, Kart Mario, Jesus Christ. I like yours as well, but what track was I on? Oh yeah, and I like the function of mine too, where you're going around. It's kind of Wario Man-esque, which we don't get a lot of in Ultimate at all. Yeah. Well, you get Wario Man in Ultimate, but his Final Smash is cooler when you're just jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the utility is there. So I don't want to put the move down, but I do think, and the reason why I'm building all this up, talking the move up, is to give myself a pat on the back before saying, let's just do the Rabbid Cranky. Because this old 8-bit DK thing, be an assist trophy.
It can easily
be. Yeah.
It can also be part of DK Jr.'s moveset.
One of these days, I mean, we've had embattled discussions over DK Jr. in the past.
We have.
All right, well, there's your moveset.
Okay. Well, there's still a few things we got to settle out. Next up, alternate costumes. I have a few that I came up with. So obviously we have our default outfit. Then I also have original DK, which is based on the original sprite. So his first one become more of a reddish brown color, and his shirt, vest thing, whatever you call that, is going to be red. Then I've got one based off of Diddy's Conquest from the GBA from his sprite in that game. So he's going to have a lime green shirt instead with a darker green tint to his fur. One based off of Wrinkly Kong, where he's going to have a reddish tint to his skin, dark gray fur, and having a purple shirt. Super Kong from Donkey Kong Returns, where it says, like, hey, you've sucked. Do you guys want help? Yes, please. So you become the Super Kong in that game. So for this one, Cranky Kong's fur is going to be white and he'll have a bright blue shirt. When we still have Dixie Kong, so, you know, his hair is going to be blonde instead of, like, the white beard. It's all going to be blonde. His fur will be a lighter shade of brown and his shirt becomes pink. And then Minky Kong, based off the Minky Kong enemies. So fur is going to become a dirty orange color. His beard is going to be a messy looking brown. He's going to have a yellow shirt. Chunky Kong, fur and beard become black. Shirt becomes a darker blue. Monochrome Cranky, referencing the old monochrome games of yesteryear. Cranky Kong's fur will become black. His beard becomes a actual gray instead of white. And his shirt will be a lighter shade of gray with his skin a darker shade of gray. And then the last one I have on here is called DK Senior. Cranky Kong will have a younger appearance with a lighter colored fur, brown beard, and a white shirt with an S written on it, a reference to how DK Jr. was a shirt with a J written on it.
I actually came up with that for my costume list too.
Really? Interesting. DK Senior you did? Oh, no. Oh,
no.
I was going to give you points, and I won't. You have anything?
Most of what you covered, I had very similar ideas. Were like Wrinkly Kong, monochrome grayscale callbacks. as well as a Funky Kong and a Dixie Kong, and the DK Arcade and GBA. Yeah, all that is there. I did have a nod to the Donkey Kong Country comics as well, where Cranky Kong wears a blue vest and his fur is more of like a reddish, like red panda-ish brown, with the white hair. And I also had one where it referencing our good old pal Kitty Kong, where he doesn't wear a onesie, unfortunately, but his vest is kind of like blue and yellow and green vestiges, like Kitty Kong's onesie rather, and he has a that lighter
Teal.
brown blondish
Teal
fur.
cyan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So a nice little swath.
Yeah. Like in some things like Funky Kong I considered doing, but I was just like, okay, Funky Kong's got the white shirt, but I'm doing that for DK Senior, so I dropped Funky Kong for that one. I considered dropping Chunky Kong considering he's got the blue shirt, which is the same thing that the Super Kong has. But I kept him on. I'm actually considering changing that one to Kitty Kong, just having it be. I'd have to change the fur and beard color for it.
Sure.
But the shirt could be cyan in that case, which would be a different color.
Right. And then let's see, Funky Kong. That'll be a fun one to do costumes for. I'll say that right now.
That'd be like season 23.
Get some ideas.
Nah,
Jesus.
we could do Funky Kong at some point. I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, probably not next season. It'd be like DK Overload.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a couple years, but
yeah,
it's on the list. If we don't get to it sooner.
Yeah. The last thing that I have about with Cranky Kong is his home stage. For me, I had a couple ideas, so I could have easily gone with Jungle Japes, because that's the stage in Melee where we see Cranky Kong like on his rocking chair, but I didn't really want to do that there because like he's on the stage already. 75M I also considered, because that one's in Brawl, it's coming back from the original Donkey Kong game, but fuck 75M. I hate it.
Seriously.
It's one of my least favorite
25
stages.
like,
which is why I decided his home stage should be 25M. Just like how 75M is pretty much pulled straight from the 75M level of their Donkey Kong, 25M is the same thing. It even like pretty much had like the same graphical style that the 75M stage has in Smash, just the actual 25M stage, which is the very first stage of the game with like the slanted. That's not really slanted, but like I think part of it is slanted, but it's where the barrels are actually rolling down. Then you have the little ladders. Well, I mean, I guess they all have ladders. But it's the first level, and I just thought, like, that makes more sense than 75M, which fucking sucks.
Yes, it does. Producing one of the worst spirit battles in all of World of Light as well, with Pauline. Like, good God. Yeah, nightmare.
Pauline's a very hard one. The boss is considered very hard. I can't remember the other ones that are just, like, notorious for being really difficult, but I know those two are up there. I think Dr. Light is pretty difficult too. Or maybe it was Dr. Wily. Whichever one is in the Metal Gear base. One of those two is like that one sucks.
I think that was Light. Okay, interesting. If I recall.
think it was.
My home stage, yes, 25M is the obvious choice. I actually think it should be the choice of the home stage. And it's going to be easy to write out and put on the wiki, relatively so compared to other stages. But for the sake of the discussion, I wanted to veer somewhere different.
Okay.
With Secret Seclusion.
What is that?
Being the final world of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That is monkey-based, with monkey paraphernalia everywhere. So I would have it featuring a monkey statue in the center that looks oddly like Cranky, just a little bit. With levitating, it would have levitating platforms, a few spiked platforms. Sides of the stages could have mine carts and rocket rails coming from the sides of it. Dissipating cloud platforms like on Yoshi's Story. And even flying plane parts coming in from the background as hazards, potentially.
Okay.
So it would be a little bit of a zany stage. Maybe something I'll make someday. Shout out to that.
All right. I'm also not going to argue for this, but I'm just going to mention in the Final Smash, I mentioned the area called where is it? Banana Lagoon, which I believe is the location for the Donkey Kong DLC of Mario plus Rabbids, and that could be a potential home stretch for Cranky Kong as well. But 25M is my pick.
Yeah, you don't going for Banana Lagoon from Donkey Kong Adventure like that would be the overkill on Rabbid Cranky.
It
We
can
kind
it
of
can be its own
already hit
stage
that, but we're excusing
somewhere.
it because it's cool. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like how King K. Rool's Final Smash shows you on DK Isle that just getting
Mm-hmm.
blasted away by the K. Rool cannon, but there's no K or DK Isle stage.
Yeah, insane Final Smash. That's one of
Oh
those
yeah,
I enjoyed.
yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say in closing? Just oh yeah, if you did a Rabid Cranky moveset at some point when you have Cranky jettisoning himself from off of Rabid Cranky's back.
No, I don't think so.
No, that's too bad. I'll beat you to the Rabid Cranky moveset then. Just just
All right. Well, it sounds like this was a pretty easy one. We got through Cranky Kong super quick.
Mhm.
I actually thought that we might finish this too early at one point. I was like, oh shit. We
Yeah.
finished saying
Yeah.
what our moves were at about an hour in.
Hmm.
Holy damn. Okay. But
Yeah.
this was a good and easy one. Sometimes we take a while to argue through things, and sometimes we just have a nice, relaxed time, which I'm glad we had with Cranky Kong. I think it works out here.
Yeah, Cranky was a relaxing man himself, so it's quite appropriate.
Man, if there was one Nintendo character that Cranky Kong would be friends with, it would be Mr. Aestheti. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true.
That's actually why, for his
Well,
taunt, I did the whole face to the screen and does the quote thing, because Mr. Rossetti was removed after Brawl. I was just like, that's a shame.
mhm.
I liked Rossetti in Brawl to assist Trophy. So I'm going to channel that energy into a taunt for Cranky Kong. And that's why I did it.
It works, and I mean that's also true to Cranky Kong's character, so
Yeah.
double points, huh?
Cranky Kong is also a character
Mi-
that they could, if they really wanted to, they could make him be like the next Smash Taunt character, where he just like talks shit about every character in the game instead of like having a Palutenia's
mhm.
guidance or a Snake's Codex or like try to like give Snake and Pit advice about these characters. He's just talking shit about them all. It's like, man, Mario, fuck that guy. I had a girlfriend. And he's just like, no, she's mine, and he kicks me off a building. Fuck Mario. It's like, oh, look at these new people. Shulk, Rex, what kinds of names are those? You think you're
Mhm.
gods? Pfft, you wouldn't have been able to do anything in my day.
Mhm. That would be fun. That would be fun. You know, Rare has a knack for that too, because I could see like a Banjo and Kazooie actually doing that as well.
They would
But
be Gruntilda would be the
Kazooie,
one talking about. It'd be Gruntilda doing the rhymes.
that would be something. It would really hurt me to try and put that on the wiki, so I'm not going to do that. But that'd be cool.
Maybe there should be a stage just like Grunty's lair, and just like throughout the battle, sometimes Grunty will appear, and she'll just like do a lot. She's not gonna like maybe she doesn't even attack the stage. She just shows up and she just talks shit, and then she goes away only to come back later. I like that idea a
Right.
lot. Like she's not really a
Her and
stage
Pungo.
hazard beyond just being annoying. You don't fight her. She's just like, I'm gonna talk shit today. Go fuck yourself. In her classic rhyming grunty way.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah,
this.
I
I
mean
like this a
that
lot.
works. That works.
All
It'd
right.
be bigger than Spiral Manton too.
I like Spiral Man, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little small.
I like it
Oh,
too. I really like the way it looks, but that platform can be larger. That's all.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, unless you have more to say on Cranky Kong, I think it's time to wrap it up.
I like that Cranky Kong has a friend like Azurda on his side.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So next time we're doing a Smasher Dash, as you know, always. This one's going to feature two characters that tread that line of robot, cyborg. Yeah, there's something like that. And they also may be related, sort of, to the series they come from. And then two characters that are from the same type of game. In fact, you could say one of their games is very inspired by the other, as they go through fighting dark monsters, finding items, and going back and forth a lot. But
Oh, ghosts and goblins.
yes, no. But that is it's actually Battletoads, thank you so much. But no, that is gonna be the end for Cranky Kong's episode. This one was a lot smooth, was very smooth. I'm good with that. Sometimes, it's just like, man, 2 hours is sometimes a lot to sit through for us too. So hour and a
Mm-hmm.
half, that's a lot more doable. So we'll see you all next time, or I guess in whatever episode you decide to watch. But we'll see you all then. Bye, everyone.
We'll see you then. Sweet dreams and coconut juice to all.